Wat leuk om jullie allemaal in deze grote getalen te zien. Het was vooraf een klein beetje met de zaal inschatten van hoeveel mensen zullen er komen. Maar volgens mij hebben we net de juiste formaatje zaal in ieder geval gekozen. Mijn naam is Servie van Eijk. Ik ben manager accountmanagement bij VB&T. VB&T is natuurlijk de partij die jullie de sleutels overhandigd heeft van jullie mooie appartement in het gebouw Next. En wij mogen vandaag aftrappen met deze mooie presentatieavond over het iWonen concept. Jullie slimme appartementen, waar jullie graag een stukje meer gaan vertellen over wat de mogelijkheden zijn, wat de planning de komende periode is, wie betrokken is bij het project en wat je van iedereen mag en kunt verwachten. VB&T, what we do is we manage the properties for property owners like Bouwinvest. So we handle all the day-to-day business, and we're also a partner in this project for Bouwinvest. With all the partners we have here, we're very proud to present this evening to you guys and explain to you what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Well, I have a few other partners, of course, participating in the project. The next speaker will be Ronnie Groenewold, Manager Innovatie VolkerWessels iCity, project leader for this beautiful project. We have Tineke de Hoop, project manager at Miele. Siddharth, I apologize if I pronounce your name not correct. Rush Kamoor?
Yeah, almost there.
Almost there, okay, I'll take it. Project leader for Hierde. And we have Jorrit Nutma, researchers for TNO, who will also explain what we're doing and how we're doing it. And Ronnie will take over in the end and explain to you what the next steps will be after these presentations.
Okay, all right. I like to tell you something first about some advantages of the iWonen concept. In the second part, I want to explain something about the changes that are now happening in the energy market and how you can profit with the iWonen concept of that. And I also present you the partners of iWonen concept. Okay. The main thing with what you have in your apartment is a smart basic infra. It's future-proof. We have added some functionalities, but it is ready for the future to add new functionalities, of course, in cooperation on the lead of Bouwinvest. But that's the main vision of our concept. It's like we call it like a Tesla. If you buy a Tesla, and you go out of the garage, there all the functionality are already in the car. You only have to switch it on and pay, of course. But that vision idea we also try to implement in your apartment. And that means that you already now receive more convenience by the lighting system, what Siddharth will introduce to you. We also have healthier air in your apartment on an automatically way. And it gives you more privacy, data privacy and security. I will explain that later in the sheet. And at the end, of course, not unimportant is that it's sustainable. And if you look at our concept, there are 5 parts that are very important and together they create iWonen. It's Miele with a dryer and a washer, Siemens with this dishwasher. Vertiso is the company who creates the IoT environment, and Milestone, the lighting system, and InterConnect is how we create smart, sustainable services. And together we call it iWonen. So that's the part of the iWonen concept, just high over. When I look to the energy market, you have 3 different types of energy contracts. Nowadays you only can buy the variable contract. Every month you get another price because of all the problems there are in the energy market. Until a year ago, you can also buy a year contract with a fixed price for 1 year or for 3 years, even for 5 years sometimes. So that are the 2 main contracts. But maybe you've seen it on the television already. From Frank Energy, for example, a commercial, they are promoting a lot of new contracts. They call it dynamic hour contracts. And dynamic hour contracts is that you buy per hour from the power exchange Stock exchange, yeah, it's not stocks, but
Power exchange.
power exchange. You buy per hour and you get the same price, including taxes, of course. And energy suppliers earn their money on a different way, not by selling kilowatt hours, but to have a little bit higher fixed price per month service fee. You can choose if you want. This is free choice, of course. What kind of contract you want? It's your own choice, but your apartment can profit a little bit from this, and I will explain it in the next situation. We have smart dishwashers and also dishwasher and a dryer. And if you choose delay time, for example, 12 hours, and you do that in the morning at 8 o'clock, and you want your wash has to be ready at 7 o'clock in the evening, if you use that smart energy sustainable service, he will choose the cheapest price moment, the cheapest moment for you, completely automatically. You do what you know for sure if your wash is ready at a moment that you want. But when the machine goes on, that is what the software decides for you. You'll explain it later how it exactly works. We'll do that. But if you look at the per hour contract, we have mostly a higher fixed price per month than the other contracts. But instead of that, you have a quite low average price of your kilowatt hour. You see that this is the average price, and you know the other prices that are now in the market. Because also a big difference is that you as a consumer, you can take the risk. You take the risk instead of the suppliers. The suppliers have a lot of difficulties to say, okay, what's the fixed price for a year or 3 years? They don't know exactly what they have to charge you, and therefore they don't offer it anymore. And this is a switch of the risk. The consumer takes the risk, but when software helps you to with this, you can take that risk. Maybe it's the decision by your own. These prices you see here, you know that always a day ahead. That's different with stocks, because it's mostly depends on nature effects like sun and solar or wind energy, and also other market influences. But a day ahead, you know the price per hour. You see that in your app. So it's not only automatically functions. You can also think by yourself, okay, at what time I will use devices. More and more often, the low prices are also sustainable prices. It's not always guaranteed, but it's more and more often, because there's coming much more sustainable resources on the market. And as people and as commercial organizations, we don't follow the amount of energy which offers on the market. So you get congestion problems. And more and more often, the low price is also in the most sustainable moment, because there's a lot of sun and wind energy offered on the market and is not be used, then the price goes down. And one other thing you have to remember, how much more time you give to the interconnect solution, the bigger the chance is that you get the lowest price. So if you use your washing machine for 24 hours, then you have, of course, more hours to search for what's the cheapest price for that. And also important thing to know is that the cost per month are not the same as a normal energy contract. Because in the winter you pay a higher price than in the summer. And the standard contract has een voorschot in Nederland. Advance. And mostly it's fixed in every month the same, but that's different with these kinds of contracts. And if you have lower energy costs, that is one big question for this project of InterConnect, is that possible? That's why this is a research project. We think it's possible, but we don't know for sure. We have to measure that. So this is one of the research goals of this project. And I saw the sheets from Tino. You will also explain some more about this. Then the last part of the iWonen concept is the connectivity and security. Every apartment has its own IoT network. That's different what you use private. You choose by KPN or by Vodafone, your own Wi-Fi or whatever. There you use your YouTube or whatever you want. And you have in your own apartment the IoT. There are only devices on it, and therefore we can create a very durable, sustainable solution that always works. And every apartment, yes, every apartment has its own network. That's this one. And we trying to realize that all the IoT networks don't bite each other. So try to the signal is you can only see in your own apartment. Instead of a red race that you see in a lot of streets everywhere when you put your Wi-Fi on. So, and that makes it better. It's not visible on your mobile phone, you cannot find it. Therefore it's also secure. And we trying to do in everything we do to give the rental control over his data. And from the first moment we trying to store as less as possible personal data from rental. That is from day one. So this is what I can tell you about the connectivity and security.